Alright, peace. Welcome to Movie Innerstandings with Brother Low and I'm Low. You know what I'm talking about? Today we are talking about the last black man in San Francisco, which it was a good movie. I would say, you know what I'm saying? Peace Sham already. Um, Sham the Joy, you know what I'm talking about? And this was a very, like I say, it was cool. It was a real cool movie, right? Very thought provoking. You know what I'm saying? So already, Ocho Kashia. Well, before we start off, let's talk a little bit about. You know what I'm talking about? You know, San Francisco was actually a mission. It was a Spanish mission. And it was basically founded in June 29th, 1776. Not that far off from, Independence Day. But this is for Spain. Now you have to think about, at one point in time, California was a Spanish colony, and then after that, it be, Mexican independence and it became a Mexican, you know, um, colony or province. And then after that, what I'm saying, the Americans come west and they, start the Californian Republic and they incorporate the city of San Francisco, once it becomes a state and everything. April 15th, 1850. Um, Now, mind you, gold was founded in San Francisco. At least the first time was January 24th, 1848. Now, look at the city wasn't incorporated 2 years later, but look at the move. Then you got the gold rush and things of that nature. What else? Um, the anthem of San Francisco is "I left my heart in San Francisco." If you ever heard that song, by Tony Bennett. Well, Tony Bennett sing it. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that happened of note, their great earthquake in April 18, 1906. So yeah, that's a little bit about the history of San Francisco. The name is named after a saint, Saint Francis of Assisi and Italian, Italy, and he founded, a few Catholic orders, um, and he was venerated as a saint. Some say he's the patron saint of Italy, but yeah. But my name is Precious. Okay. Pieces to Shirley. Yeah. And so when we start this movie, you have the preacher, talking about it. Preaching outside and talking about how the water, has been filthy for 50 years and whatnot. And you have the toxic cleanup, I'm talking about. And you see people out there with masks and whatnot. I'll be honest. When the start of this movie, I thought that there was a virus. And only non-melanoid people got it, right? That's why they had on the mask. That's and the suits. I was like, oh, we doing outbreak again, huh? But the black people didn't have on those suits. I was like, oh, so there's an outbreak. and it only catches, non-melanated people. I was wrong. I was so wrong. But I really thought. This is gonna be a pandemic movie. It is, in a sense, it is. But we are introduced to Jim and Montgomery, you know, and they're waiting for a bus. You know what I'm talking about? And they decide, not to wait for the bus anymore because it takes too long, and they just skateboard, to San Francisco. Peace, Bobby Randy. Shoot, I know. Well, since you being from that area, I'm sure you could fill us in on the terrain, because one thing I liked about this movie is, one thing I was always looking around was the architecture. San Francisco has interesting, well, housing architecture. You, I like looking at the houses, the big houses in San Francisco, and the hills, and the trolleys, you know. But that was one thing that was always taking my eye, off of the characters. It was the environment and whatnot, what I'm talking about. And so we see, Jim, he's painting a house, and basically the owners of that house, who are non-melanoid people, they white, telling him to get him out. They throwing stuff on him and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, San Francisco is weird. But you see him just painting the house, and he's saying, man, these people don't even take care of the house, but they got the nerve to say, get up, stop doing this, get off my property, I'm gonna call the cops. And then the husband's like, we're not going to call the cops, okay? We're grateful that you're painting the outside, but you can't keep on doing this, you gotta go. you know the old white couple was funny. And so, basically what he's doing is he's just keeping a house together that, you find out later on that he lived in, you know what I'm saying? And so after that, you see Mont, or Montgomery, telling a movie to his grandpa Allen, you know what I'm saying, played by Danny Glover, you know what I'm saying? And even in that house, it's an old house, you know what I'm saying? It's an old house. And so, now you find out that, that house that he was painting was his, was Jimmy's old house, you know what I'm saying? And we also see Mont out on, on the water, in a dinghy. I call it a dinghy, but and a fish jumps in, and it has, four eyes, well, two on each side, so that's four, but four eyes, right? And he's a playwright, Montgomery's a playwright, and he, writes plays. And you see, him at times, basically acting out his own play, and he does that with the people around in his neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about, especially the guys in his neighborhood that are on the street, always talking mess. Always bagging on each other and bagging on each other people. Or people that walk. Every time I saw them, I was like, man, y'all go, somebody gonna get shot. I keep on doing that. Somebody gonna get shot. Peace chief. It, it even kindergarten folk. Oh, kinderfolk. Kindergarten. This was an interesting movie. You'll enjoy the breakdown. Yeah, it was an interesting movie. Well, if you like, this movie deals with letting go of a lot of things, but it also deals with um I guess the passion and love for not only just a house, but probably love for a city that don't love you back. I think we all, do that in a sense. We all try to represent, I'm from New York, and I'm from Chicago, I'm from LA, and things of that nature, knowing that we don't own any land in these places, you know what I'm saying? But we rep them, you know what I'm saying? And we love these places, you know what I'm saying? Or we think we do. And basically we're just there by circumstance. you know, we're just there by circumstance. We're just lucky. Lucky to draw. But yes, the cinematography of this film was very awesome because as you look at this cinematography, you basically see the love of San Francisco. You got the San Francisco Giants, and then you got a baseball. You got the Giants logo, of the SF and whatnot. You see it all around, right? The house is painted, basically the old house that Jimmy's painted is red and gold. And the first thing I thought of course, was San Francisco 49ers, because their colors are red and gold, and white, But yeah, so we see, Jim, he's basically a nurse, and he takes care of an old woman as his job, who looks like she has dementia. Um, yeah, you know, it's like reading a love letter from Jimmy Fails, yeah, to what was once conceptual West Coast Harlem. Exactly, and we gon' we gonna get into that as well, um, because you see uh, the story of homelessness and in this movie, and that was very interesting because Jimmy lived in a car in the story, you know what I'm saying, and he had drug addict parents, and they moved around, and being homeless and things like that, you know but we find out that white people that lived in the house lost the house, and you see them cry, and whatnot, and you see Jimmy and Mont go to a real estate agent about the house, trying to see if it's for sale, and it's not for sale, right? And so you see Mont and Jimmy, they just break in the house because that's Jimmy's idea. Basically, what they're doing is squatting in the house. You know what I'm talking about? And as they're doing that, you have this this tour guide talk about the house, as and Jimmy's listening to him, and he's saying like this house is built in the 1800s and whatnot, and just give him San Francisco history, talking about how this used to be the West Coast heart, of of San Francisco, and it got me to thinking, what I'm saying, um, you'll no matter what city you go to in the north and the west, you'll find a place like that. You know, of course, New York, they got Harlem, Harlem. Um, for Detroit, Hastings Street, and all of that. And for me, and always in my opinion, the Harlem for Chicago was Bronzeville. You know what I'm talking about? From Bronze, it's Bronzeville. So, but yeah, he says this used to be, the West Coast Harlem, and before that, the Japanese live here, and then they left because they were put in internment camps. Now that was during World War II, and that was a response to World War II. Well, the Pearl Harbor, they put the Japanese residents, that were American citizens in these internment camps. Well, basically they're like concentration camps, but ain't nobody getting killed. Well, at least ain't nobody getting killed. like like those in the European theater, at Auschwitz and Sobibor and well, I think Treblinka and things of that nature, right? Now, mind you, this was also um this was for the Japanese. Now, mind you, they didn't do that to the Germans and they didn't do that to the Italians. No, you know, but they did it to them. They took them from their homes and took away their businesses and put them, in the interior of the United States and put them in the camps. you know, right. Harlem is the prototype for the best of the country, but every state had a black mecca. I spent a lot of time out in Hunters Point in Frisco, and 20 years ago, it actually had some color out there. Right. See, you always gonna find a black mecca somewhere. You know what I'm saying? In each city. You know what I'm saying? And there's history, there's culture, and whatnot. In these neighborhoods. You know, like in Chicago. Like I knew where Ida B. Wells' house was, which was in Bronzeville. And, famous like Louis Armstrong used to live, there, and whatnot. Muhammad Ali, he didn't live in that neighborhood, but he lived on the south side. I remember my dad taking me we was driving down and he showed me the house. But yeah, and but not only that, when Jimmy hears all this, he corrects him, said, no, my grandfather, came here from New Orleans and he built this house. Now, mind you, if you look at the architecture of the house and inside the house, it don't look like, um, it was built in the 1940s. But, that's what he tells them, right? But that stood out for me as well because that was the migration. Like I talk about the Great Migration. For West Coast people or Cali people, what you'll find out if you talk to them that they peoples came from either Louisiana or Texas. That's the pattern. You find, like I say, you will find the migration patterns in all these cities. New York, Carolinas, Chicago, Mississippi, things of that nature. You will find the patterns, So that was one thing that stuck out to me, or Arkansas, exactly. Barbara Randy. It 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 never stops, you just gotta look at the map, you know what I'm saying? And so he breaks that down, and then we see, let's see, Jimmy and Mont, he visits Aunt Wanda because, and tells her, got a new place to live, and she shows him all the stuff that she kept, that um, she could save, from them moving from their old house. You know what I'm saying? I will say this, I think that this movie tells a lot of people's stories about these houses or memories in the house that we hold on to, and so we try to live in these places, to really keep those memories. I think about that with my own, well, with my old house, which wasn't which was my old house. I lived in a basically I live in a halfway house, but because of the memories that I had in this halfway house, even though I lived in this, this older woman's upstairs. My family lived in this other woman's upstairs. You know what I'm talking about? And I will say, if I could save that house, or paint it, because they changed the paint, it was a baby blue house, and it had red, wood lining on it, was crazy, but hey, that's the house. You know what I'm saying? Or they like, don't change the drapes. you know, Mama, the elder mother, she loved those drapes or whatever. But it's the memories inside the house. That's what he's really recreating when he's painting and moving in, and moving all the old stuff in. He's recreating, the memories in the house, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Um Yeah, Pine Bluff or Little Rock. Thank you. um, so and if you look at the furniture in the house that he brings in, it looks like something out the 1920s. But then at the same time, if you look at the house, it looks like that as well. You know what I'm talking about? And so after that, mine breaks up a fight. You know what I'm saying? Between the guys, they basically bagging on one of the guys who's called Koji. No, Coffee. Um, and they trying to shame him for, um, you know, being scared or whatever. Now, mind you, these guys ain't, they ain't really warring, but they be like, man, you soft. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And he is not trying to fight or anything like that. You know what I'm talking about? And so, mine goes out there, was like, guys, that was wonderful. You doing what he's just being, being a director, what I'm saying? It's real, it's believable, And he's like, what, man, I can't stand him. you know. But it was real cool. It was real funny, right? But it showed the misplaced manhood in that group. You know what I'm saying? Um, Go away. They are basically not bonding together, or being reciprocal with each other. They're basically just talking about each other and then talking about other people. And then when you don't do something, or the peer pressure, when you don't do something that they don't do, you know what I'm saying? They'll rag on you. You know what I'm saying? And you see that, and I'm sure all of us has experienced that kind of peer pressure and whatnot. Yeah, and then skip a beat, you know. And yeah, I got answers from North. Of course, about Miranda for sure. Um, and so also, Jimmy goes see his pops, tells him that he moves into the dang on old house, and then that bothers his pops. You can tell the emotion because he lost the house, with drug addiction, and he was like, "Man, what are you doing?" And he cuts him out, and says, "Get out." And then that makes Jimmy question, should he be there? And then Coffee comes over to the house, and they have a good time with each other. They smoke a spliff or whatever in a sauna, in the house. You know what I'm saying? They talk. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, Coffee says, you was right. You weren't lying about this being your house and your grandfather, um, building this dang on house. You know what I'm talking about? And so um mind you, Kofi and Jimmy, they were in a group home together, you know what I'm saying? So you could see there was some type of friendship there. But because, certain things or whatever, or certain life experiences, they grew apart. You see that. Um, yeah, because that way of getting punked was somebody I knew. Shoot, bruh. Um, shoot, I would not lie to you. That has happened to me. Albert Randy. I can remember that. I was supposed to fight this dude, and I didn't want to fight him. I didn't want to fight him. I didn't know why I was. What are we fighting for? I have a brain, so I was like, "What are we fighting for?" You know. But then you have people egg you on. You know what I'm talking about? Like he had a long. That wasn't even a ducktail. That was a braid. But yeah. All he needed was a foxtail or something. And them boys they already wear tight jeans. I mean that. And we gonna go back to Electric Boogaloo. I mean, hey, let's go all the way back. You know what I'm saying? With Turbo and them. you know. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And after that, we see Jimmy meets his mom and they feel estranged. You see that, but like I say, his mom like his dad suffered from drug addiction, but they feel estranged. He acts like, yeah, like he don't want to hug her and whatnot. Or he don't know what to do or how to act. And that's his mom. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't act like that's his mom. Or the motherly sense. You know what I'm saying? They have like two strangers on the bus, But, after they get off the bus, you know what I'm saying? They find out that Kofi got shot, you know what I'm saying? And that bothers Jimmy. And then he gets into another guy that's one of the crew, Gunner, because they tell him like why he get shot, but he was talking stuff to some Bay Area dudes. We gonna say some Bay Area dudes, and they shot him, which I knew that was gonna happen sooner or later, And he said, for what for? He was asking real life, real questions, and could none of them answer him. And then Gunner acts like he wants to fight him, and then he just stands there. And then Jimmy just stands there. And then all of a sudden you think that Gunner's gonna, fire one off and punch him. But all he does is break down and cries, man. Cries on the shoulder, tells you about, black male pain, you know what I'm saying? Your homie dead and he didn't have to die like that, you know what I'm saying? And that could have been another way. But because of their dystopian view of manhood and things of that nature, you see how things get, and their emotional problems. It ends up getting one of them killed. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot, which is a problem. And so he hugs him. You know what I'm saying. And this is the same guy that they all call him and his friend gay and stuff like that. They bag on him, but here he is crying on his shoulder because they all knew each other anyway. But yeah, and then we see later on that the house is put up for sale and all their furniture is outside. You know what I'm saying? Skinny jeans and Auburn Randy. I'm not from the Bay, but I'm like, that's what y'all. Well, honestly, that's what y'all doing. I was really like, that's what y'all about. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was really looking for how Cali people talking, how they pronounce their R's. I love the way Cali people pronounce their R's. They really put emphasis on that R. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, the youngsters, right? And because they was wearing skinny jeans and Timbs, I'm like, y'all from New York? And it's Cali, like, why y'all got on, sweater vests and bubble sweater vests and whatnot. And like, this ain't New York. I expect them. Yes, I will expect that from New York, especially the Tips. But I'm like, it's San Francisco. Why you got some shorts or something? That's just me. But yeah, man. So Jimmy, because he loves that house, and it's a part of his memory. You know what I'm saying? You can say that. Oh, they do? Well, who knew? I didn't know that. See, the more you know, you know. I mean, yeah, I will rock some Tims, but I ain't rocking them like them New York dudes. No plain was we gotta have some color. Ever see people wear some them pink Tims and lime green Tims and just offset colors that don't in Tims you ain't supposed to be wearing. It's crazy, but just stand out. Yeah, lightweight. But because he loves his house, he goes to a bank and asks for a loan, and finds out that that basically the house is um, worth $4 million, and that's what they want for it. And he's trying to get this loan, and he just says, look, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna charge me a lot of interest. I don't care. I don't care about all of that. If you give me this loan, this is the only house I'll ever want in my life. And if you give me this loan, I'm gonna pay you on time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I know you're gonna put me through a lot of stuff because I'm a man. I'm black and all of that. But I don't care. This is the house I want. Just give me the loan and I'll pay you back. But he doesn't get the loan. And Mom goes see a realtor and tries to say that that the realtor's false advertisement on the house. And then he finds out that the house wasn't what Jimmy said it was. That it was built by his grandfather. It was a house built by somebody else in the 1800s. But the thing is that the movie brings a thought-provoking question. You gonna pay $4 million for an old house that's right next to people, right, no real space. You know what I'm saying? But that house is $4 million. It's old as I don't know what, but it's worth $4 million in San Francisco. It poses the question of this so-called urban renewal or gentrification or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Where you're paying a lot of money for sometimes places that are very old and weren't that as expensive to begin with. But now that you see them as mini castles, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. I totally can remember seeing that type of architecture here. You know what I'm saying, especially that witch hat and whatnot, especially on the north side on the Gold Coast, and right across the street from the north side beach, and those houses look just like that. And who lived in them? Shoot, Khazars. The temple was right 3 blocks down. You know what I'm saying? And I've always liked those architecture, and we always had to go up north to see those type of houses. And then you wonder who lived in them and why they lived in them, and why they cost so much, or more importantly, why somebody would spend over $1 million for a skyscraper condo. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna spend all that money for San Fran, but Operandi, it's just not San Fran prices. That's New York, that's Chicago. You know what I'm saying? That's in the major cities. You know what I'm saying? Where you pay a premium for an amount of space that's not a land, that you really can, I guess you can get true benefit from it, or you can really pass down. Who gonna pass down the, you know, well, in a sense, it's like, you paying $4 million for a tenement apartment. You know what I'm saying? It's like who does that? You know what I'm saying? And then it had me thinking, well, if people want to pay $4 million or millions of dollars just to live in a city, well, let them, because of the simple fact that it's easy to get in, it's hard to get out. If you think about it, because you got to remember that San Francisco is basically like an island. You know what I'm saying? And if there's an emergency, it's gonna be hard to get out. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to get out. So it's easy to get in. Yeah, you want to pay $4 million? Let them. Let them. It is what it is. Like how they were talking about, this used to be the West Coast Harlem of the day. And you see people live in these spaces like they're going to recreate that culture, but they didn't create the culture anyway. But yeah, you want to live in these spaces. It's sort of like, you got 9 million people living in Harlem, but they can't recreate that culture. The people that did create it, gone. They said they but down south. You know what I'm saying? They said they but down south. They said they but to Atlanta and Charlotte or something, So everything that made that place popping or whatever, it's not the same anymore. You know what I'm talking about now? But even in those old times, you would have people come to those neighborhoods to hang out and get a feel for the culture, especially when like jazz came around and things of that nature, and dance, Lindy Hop and Jitterbugs and whatnot. you know Yeah, the busing of the female stalking. Bruh, I was gonna save that. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that here you have two people, you know what I'm saying, talking about the city on the bus. And you could tell they weren't from San Francisco. But they was like, oh, I hate this city. This city is this. We should move to East LA. And I'm like, East LA? Ain't that where the and bye. Ain't that where the essays are? What what are you gonna do in this LA? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. But you like if you actually come from a big city like that, you have people bagging on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they say they're from here. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, you know what I'm saying? Because without it, you know, without that city or whatever, would that state be would you even know that state even existed if it weren't for a big city like San Francisco or LA? Anybody care about California if those cities weren't in them? New York for that matter. Would you even care? you know People pay a premium for the perseverance of belief. Certain areas hold their past things. Example, Hunter's Point was prostitution is on since the gold rush, and people still hold on to that thing. Yes, Chief. Yes. Yeah. Like hmm I would say like in New Orleans, and Storyville and Tobacco Town. That was the color red light district. That's where Louis Armstrong was from. And um it's not like that. It's not like that today, but people hold on to that. It's like, you know, I still can't tell you where the red light district in Chicago was. I've been looking for that one for the longest, but people still hold on to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Hunters Point was where Grandpa Allen lived in the movie. Oh, got you. I can tell. Well, I can tell because it was just one house, and nothing was by it. You know what I'm saying? But wow, you know what I'm saying? That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a nice house in hindsight. Because I like old architecture, but you know what I'm saying? I can totally understand that. You know, um, but yeah, it really is. The perseverance of belief. You know what I'm saying? It was the levee. It was the levee. Now where the levee was, I couldn't tell you, but I knew it was the levee. I'm still looking. I'm like, where was the levee at? Can anybody tell me where the levee? No, I'll ask all the old folks I know. Y'all know where the levee at? But it was before they actually got up there, so they couldn't tell me no way. you know, they were still down south, so nobody I knew could tell me. But yeah, it was the levee district. Of course I know. Jay Johnson used to go there. you know, um, but yeah, they people hold on to these things, and or these old memories of these neighborhoods, and they know nothing about it, but they was like, oh well, this was, and it's like whatever, you know still it is to a degree, but places have branched out, like Humboldt Park, yeah, Logan Square, and East West Garfield. Yeah, well, I'll never go to Humboldt Park. I, I know where it's at, Chief, but uh-uh, that I'm sure you know what's there. And I've never go. I've never been. I would, and I never plan on going. See, there's some places you just don't go. But yeah, that right there. And so, you have, Jimmy telling Mont that he's not leaving the house. And then that gives Mont, I guess, the drive to write about the play. You know what I'm saying? And so, Mont just writes about the play, and you see his journey as he does that. You know what I'm saying? And I found it cool that they had, a guy singing, the if you're going to San Francisco, which is part of the San Francisco history because it was like the hippie capital of the '60s, like for real, And I know that song. If you're going to San Francisco, because you're going to meet nice people there because all of them are high and they about free love and whatnot. That's a part of think about it. That was like the free love and hippie movement, and look at San Francisco. That didn't change now, did it? I'm just saying. But yeah, right. Um and so, that they're going to put on the play, and then we see Jimmy's dad, come to the house, and he's playing I'd rather be with you on the organ. you know. Um and Miles puts on the play, and it's about coffee and his friends, and before he got, and how he got shot, and then you have Mont being a preacher and whatnot, and then he um basically acts out with the crowd, asking how they remember coffee, and then he goes to Jimmy, and then he basically breaks it down to Jimmy to saying that, your family, your grandfather didn't build this house. That's the truth. And Jimmy doesn't want to believe it. And he's like, nah, man, nah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Michael Marshall, San Francisco. Yeah, it's a good song. It is a good song. Um, and he leaves. He leaves the house. Well, he doesn't leave the house. He just leaves the attic. And then he asks his father, is it true? You know what I'm saying? His father, like, he don't want to tell him or whatever. But then his aunt, Wanda, you know what I'm talking about, talks to him. And, she tells him, I wanted it to be true too. And he was like, man, I forgot. I wanted it to be true so bad. I believed the lie. You know what I'm saying? And some of us do that. We believe this lie about, this, cities or neighborhoods or whatever, and we wanted to, that probably gave us hope, or like Chief said, belief in something that was probably, reality for some of us, but wrapped in an illusion, and that's what you see with Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? And as Zon said, if you lose, it's not your loss. It's San Francisco's. And then she says F San Francisco, you know what I'm saying? And whatnot, And we see Mont basically well, Jimmy and Mont, they apologize to each other. You know what I'm saying? And they say sorry. And they go back to Mont's house, and him and his grandpa, they're sitting on the couch, and he's telling his grandfather, who's blind, the story, the movie again, and Jimmy, in the middle of the night, he ends up leaving, you know what I'm saying, and leaves a letter, saying, thank you and I'm sorry, but and he leaves. But by that being, that being Mont's best friend, it's sad and somber for him. Now every day it's not the same anymore. Where you have, you have your buddy, and nothing in the life is mundane, because you got your friend with you. But now that he's gone, he doesn't have his friend anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then you see Jimmy rowing, taking the dinghy and rowing, out of basically, the bay, San Francisco Bay. And you see Montgomery looking out on the water, and whatnot. And, that's the end of the movie. So, yeah, this was a love story for San Francisco, but it was also, a think piece about, urban renewal and gentrification and things of that nature, what you lose and things of that nature. Because what was interesting for me is like, yeah, these places pay a premium, but sometimes you say you want to see the homelessness in these cities. It will blow your mind sometimes, especially in Cali. They could tell you, people in Cali could tell you better than I could, the homelessness, and those type of cities, you know what I'm talking about. And it is amazing, you know what I'm saying? And all of that just for an illusion or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, I enjoyed this movie, because for me, San Francisco, the city, was never interesting to me until I started researching Chinese gangs. That was like the only time I actually cared about San Francisco because I wanted to know about the triads and the gangs in San Francisco because they were there too before the Japanese, because they helped build the railroad, Central Pacific Railroad. So that's also was the, you got a lot of Asian population, high Asian population in San Francisco. But so, but it's a really good movie, you know what I'm saying? Especially for the cinematography. If you don't pay attention to nothing else, the cinematography is amazing, right? But man, it's cool. This was a cool movie, and just looking at certain memorabilia that represents San Francisco, the Giants and whatnot, and 49ers, Jerry Rice and things like that, what I'm saying? And whatnot. Nothing about Oakland, but hey. But look, that's the lesson. Don't you talk best to Bay Area because they will shoot you, especially those from the east side. I had friends from east side Oakland. They were cool, but yeah, the generational lies we believe and propagate. Yeah, because those some generational lies, but it was all that Jimmy had, and probably all that he had to keep from going crazy, or from knowing that his whole life was messed up. That was like this one saving grace where he actually had a family at one point in time before drugs and whatnot, messed it all up. But yeah, those generational lies, or beliefs or hope, that anxiety of hope, you know, can hurt and damage. And you see that in this movie. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, I like this movie a lot. You know what I'm talking about? And it was amazing. You know. Um, Next strong, right? We gonna do Soul of the Game. Yeah, we on that. I thought it was genius. Although this is a true story that the revelation was that his father was lying about the physical house. It is sobering reminder that we are a lost tribe here. Exactly, because all throughout the movie, Namchi, there's a lot of displacement. It's a displacement getting there. That great migration is nothing but a displacement. You know what I'm saying? For all of us, you know, it's a displacement. And then here you have, third generation, and he's displaced. He's homeless. He don't have nowhere to call his own, and he's displaced, lost. You know what I'm saying? A lost tribe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's two sides costume. Oh, I talked about it, but it was Coffee and his friends. Like, yo, you my dude. You know what I'm talking about? And he was like, no, hit me, son, hit me. Like I say, who hasn't experienced that before? You know what I'm saying? Where your guy tell you, yo, you ain't about to be no soft dude around me. Hit me. You know what I'm saying? There was this movie I remember called There Are No Children There. I used to watch when I was little because it was about Chicago West Side, right? Um, and Horner, and there's a scene where the big brother, his little brother's getting bullied because he stutters, and he tells him to punch, and he's like, "No, Laffy, I don't want to punch. I want to be nice to people." He's like, "Punch," you know what I'm saying? you know, and he sort of mentally assaults his brother just to make him strong. You know what I'm saying? It happens. You know what I'm saying? But you see that double mindedness of that misplaced manhood. You know what I'm saying? Because from both sides, you could tell there wasn't no father in the house, no way to say, "Hey, cut that stuff out." that ain't what we do anyway. If you gon' That's not how you handle male aggression with another um, kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? You know, but there's no man in the house to teach that and lay down um, that law. You know, on that type of manhood. You know, on proper ways of aggressing. You know, and for everyone, Danny Glover's presence was significant. He was a big time mover and shaker in the protests of the 1960s in San Francisco. His inclusion was strategic. You know, Chief, you're right. I never paid it. You know, I've heard stories about it, about him being in that movie on the West Coast, but I never delved deep into it. But you are right. He was. He really was. Um that just jogged my memory when you said it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he really was. You know what I'm saying? Um so yeah, next strong, like I say, we're gonna do Soul of the Game. If you looking for it, it's on YouTube, you know, and it's about the Negro Leagues. We're gonna talk about the Negro Leagues. Baseball. Some of y'all don't like it, but we gonna talk about black baseball and black, Negro leagues. You know what I'm talking about? And it sort of talks about, probably we going on a trend. We going on a trend. You know, but absolutely double mistaken identity. These races for the biggest and baddest man. In this backdrop of huge economic disparities. Yeah, why are we getting mad at each other? We all poor. You know what I'm saying? We need more, we need to circle the wagons or band together, not build apart. But you have that in this movie. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, yeah, displaced manhood. So um next strong, like I said, next strong, we're gonna get into, Negro leagues. We're gonna get into Jackie Robinson, of the Dodgers. It's amazing how, man, why does it seem like all the Cali, look, Cali be stealing teams, bro? Brooklyn, New York. It's like, man, y'all be stealing New York teams, like for real. Um, yeah, and not do being alone, Chief. How here we go, Albert. You know what? I'm gonna have to put. I already did the list, but Chief, you know what? If you want me to do Being Alone, we can do Being Alone. With Richard Pryor, Billy D. But man, I haven't seen Being Alone in a long time. But I'm like, I don't think I have a lot of. Look, I was not supposed to be watching Being Alone, so. But yeah, leave Cali alone, bro. That has nothing to do with Cali. That has to do with business. If you think about it, that has nothing to do with Cali. That's business. That's economics. That y'all moving a team to another state. That has nothing to do with Cali. Don't be trying to look. Why are you acting like your family moved the team to move the Brooklyn Dodgers? Y'all didn't. So white folks did that. Just like they did with the Raiders. Move them to Vegas. Although that, if you look at it from a business move, that does sound smart. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, Richard Pryor, Billy D, James Earl Jones, Mabel. Yeah, bruh. I agree. You know what? I can't change it now. But I'll say next month I do Being Alone. I will show enough dude bang along for you. Look, I gotta be clapping about it because I ain't seen that movie in a long time. But it's good though. It's crazy, but it's good and it's funny. You know, and you got a young James Earl Jones too, bruh. Man, you know, and the coolness of Billy D. You know, yeah. Well, of course I just they were old men by the time I came around, but they were still cool. Billy D was always cool. He just pimping, but and and of course Richard Pryor because he from up here, you know, what I'm saying, but he just from Peoria, but he's just crazy. You know, he from Peoria, you know, and you would never believe, but his life, bruh, like for real. And James Earl Jones, for those that don't know, James Earl Jones is as they say, he Cherokee. That's the Cherokee. Probably nobody don't know that. But yeah, James Earl Jones, he's a Cherokee. Love him and dang on the Great White Hope. You know, oh man, you know, when skinny and bruh hitting that punching bag. Yeah, man, that was a good movie too. But yeah, getting Bing along, Bing along All Stars. Put I will say, gee, put that in the request so I don't forget. Put that in the request so I don't forget. Because I've been waiting for you to put in a request, so at least 5. Sooner or later, I thought I was gonna have to do I don't know, Dolomite, some dang old black exploitation. You know, I figured it's gonna come any day now. But hey, I would definitely do Big O Low for you, like for sure. If I didn't already have the list brought out, I can't change it now. But yeah, next strong, that's what we that's what we own. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah. Um, don't forget, tomorrow we got Shema and uh shout out to Sister Deirdre. We did her live like 2 hours before mine. You know. Uh I might have do that joint because I don't know if you could hold down a soulful joint. Man, where's my Apple Jackson movie? I'm putting up my memory posters now. Hey yo, you know what? You right. You right. That's your time. You know, that's your time. I ain't gonna hate. You know, I ain't gonna hate. You right. You can do it better than me. You know what I'm talking about? Because yeah, you lived during that era. You know. Because with this movie, I want to put on my Bay Area music like a oh boy and get oh. Anyway. So yeah, you right. Get your Applejacks, Moon Rings, Ring Pops, Bazooka Joes. What y'all? What's some candy y'all used to eat? Bazooka Joes, Pixie Sticks, Boston Baked Beans, Long Boys. You know, uh, I don't know nothing about no dang available poster. I ain't never heard that before. But you just educated me. Yeah. I do not have that type of soul. Shoot, I still got my Zodiac. I bet you do. No, you need your reference points. Just saying. Some people still doing them. You know, each time of the month. You know, your Zodiac Kama Sutra. Bam, right there in poster form. Man, we all got trinkets. You know what I'm saying? um. So yeah. Oh, San Quinn. That's what that was. Okay, for sure. So that's what we on. So Give thanks to everybody for coming out, showing up, showing out. Give thanks for Chief and his soul, because he got soul. You know what I'm saying? You know. So much so still got dang man. I don't yeah. I don't I don't know nobody that had those type of posters. Man, maybe my uncle. I think one of my uncles have one of those posters. I think he did. He was an old man though. Cause why do I want to say he had that dang on Zodiac with all set positions? It was neon, and it was right next to his Crown Royal, like the little bar tray with with the crown and the Hennessy and the I don't know. Libra, my name is Charles. Like it's quiet. Guess I'm like this universe. see, already. So yeah, man, that's flow on. See, flow on. Yeah. See, yeah, yeah, you're right. Maybe I do. Since you talk about soul, you make me want to do. I don't know why I want to do that move, but that just brings out the soul in me, like coolie high. That's way before my time, but bruh, just oh my goodness, seeing But anyway, coolie high and Nadine. But anyway, so that's what we on. Next strong. You know, we gonna float on next strong. And we gonna do solo game and whatnot. I'm gonna bring some soul to that dang you know what I'm saying? The Black Track Trip. My cousin is Leon Phelps, latest man. I'm a latest man. For sure. You know what I'm talking about. Yes. You know. Yeah, man. Here we go. So join us next round, and I will see y'all good people, all you boppers out there. You know what I'm talking about. Now that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Warriors sooner or later, just so, cause Warriors is just so New York. It's so New York. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that one. Sooner or later, I'm gonna do that one. So New York. But peace, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your strong. But peace.